live and local. This is Fox 7 Austin News at 9.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Strong storms hit across central Texas earlier today, and more are expected to come before the end of the week.
Chief Meteorologist Scott Fisher is tracking it all for us tonight. He joins us in the Weather Center with the first look at your forecast. Hey, Scott.
Yeah, guys, we missed the bulk of the severe weather. Nevertheless, the very heavy rains continued, and all that water's got to go somewhere. Rivers, creeks, and streams are running high. I'm glad we're getting a break right now. Take a look at Max Storm Radar. There is absolutely nothing out there, and I'm not expecting anything more than a sprinkle or two as we head into the overnight. But the 48-hour STP tells you just part of the story. We've seen more than 3 to 4 inches of rain in and around the Austin area. Most spots picking up between 1 and 2 inches of rain today and yesterday combined. Here's what it looked like as that line of storms rumbled right across the Austin area at about noon today, and then it was gone. But the aftermaths will continue. There are no watches. There are no warnings. However, we do have river flood warnings up. All the areas you see in green there, that's a creek or a river or a stream running high. I do want to pinpoint one. Barton Creek at 360. Latest stage is about 8.6 feet. It is forecast to crest as we get into the overnight hours over 12 feet. That would put Barton Creek into major flood stage. Much more on the forecast, including another round or 2 or 3 of heavy rain yet to come. That's up in just a bit.
The Austin Parks and Recreation Department has once again closed the Barton Creek Greenbelt due to additional rainfall and potential flash flooding during the next several days. Last night's rain raised Barton Creek's flow rate and further deteriorated trail conditions. The department is asking the public to observe all posted signs and stay out of closed areas. We're told when conditions improve, the areas will be reopened. Meanwhile, officials with the Austin Watershed Department say all low water crossing gates are operational.
All 5 sites with automatic gates have been checked in anticipation of more storms this week. As city crews did have to make repairs to the gates where a dramatic rescue happened last Friday. It was on Old Bee Caves Road. It involved 3 women and a dog. Their car was stuck in high water. Austin police officers rescued them before the car washed off the road. A spokesperson for the Austin Watershed Department says the gates didn't go down Friday because debris damaged a triggering mechanism. But they also want to remind folks to look before they drive into high water. The gates may have malfunctioned. Don't risk getting stuck. And most importantly, turn around, don't drown. And authorities say it is always important to be weather aware because floodwaters can easily sweep you away.
That was the case this afternoon after a man's body was recovered from Lady Bird Lake. Starflight spotted him after searching along Shoal Creek, where someone reported seeing a man being swept away by floodwater.
Fox 7 Austin Jennifer Kendall is live from Shoal Creek tonight with more on that. Jennifer.
Mike, Rebecca, Shoal Creek is known to turn dangerous in a matter of seconds following heavy rainfall in downtown Austin. And first responders say that's exactly what happened today. Unfortunately, a man was in the creek bed at the time, and the rapids quickly swept him downstream.
Heavy rain soaked downtown Austin Wednesday afternoon, turning the usually calm water of Shoal Creek into raging rapids in a matter of minutes. Austin firefighters say someone called 911 just before 1 o'clock to report seeing a man in the creek near the 9th Street Bridge swept away by the swift water. Rescuers rushed to the scene, but he was nowhere to be found. Starflight desperately searched from the sky looking for any sign of the man downstream. Once the helicopter reached Lady Bird Lake near the Congress Avenue Bridge, the crew spotted a motionless body below. A rescue boat retrieved the body, bringing it to the dock near Trinity Street. Austin Travis County EMS says a man in his 50s was pronounced dead on scene. Homicide investigators were called to the lake to check for any signs of foul play, but ultimately determined the man's death was not suspicious. Kevin Bordenero says when he saw patrol cars, his curiosity got the best of him.
I just saw all the commotion and I came down here and saw the homicide investigators.
Bordenero and his hearing dog Mickey regularly visit Shoal Creek, but he says he's never seen it flood because he's too worried he could get caught off guard by the rising water.
No, I don't go anywhere near it. I mean, maybe from a distance I'd see it, but like where I take him, it's like a huge gully with walls on the outside, and just very center is where I take him on a nice day, but I could see that filling up really quick.
And learning that a man lost his life there Wednesday was a tragic reminder of just how quickly that can happen.
It's heartbreaking. Yeah, you don't like that at all.
And first responders do want to remind people that anytime it is raining in the Austin area, there is the potential that lakes, creeks, and rivers could rise very rapidly. For that reason, they encourage people to stay away from the water's edge during and immediately following a storm. Sending it back to you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Now, it wasn't just creeks that were flood swollen today. In some areas, many roads became impassable. Fox 7 Austin's Shannon Ryan gives us a look.
I got this place like 2 years ago, and I mean, I never seen nothing happen like this before.
New homeowner Victor Aragon was hoping his South Austin house would be a safe place he and his family could call home. But with severe weather moving through the region, Aragon is worried. His house sits next to a low water crossing, where Wasson Road now meets Williamson Creek.
The water jumping over the bridge.
He's nervous the water could come closer.
Well, yeah, my kids, my family, and everybody that, I mean, it's gonna keep growing up and coming into the house.
Aragon's neighbor, Sam Smith, just moved in 2 weeks ago. He's still figuring out the area and trying to figure out how to get home with the street flooded.
Well, I'm not going home right now. That's for sure, unless I want to swim.
Erring on the side of caution, Smith finally decided to cut through the woods.
I mean, if you see some signs like that, turn around, don't drown. I mean, you gotta do that, turn around.
Aragon says not everyone takes that advice. Sometimes cars try to cross. Over on Bee Cave Road, Matthew Beatles, GM at the finish line, says he sees the same thing.
We've seen, I think maybe since I've been here 5 years, maybe seen 3, 4, 5 cars float down the river. Yeah, so now they come out and put the barricades, and the cops have to post up.
Officers work to keep people and debris out of the flooded roadway.
It's serious. If you see water on the road, don't try to cross it.
And many low water crossings up in Williamson County are closed, especially those along Brushy Creek in Round Rock. Fox 7 Austin's Steven Sarabia live at Memorial Park, where the creek has made its way into the park. Steven.
Yeah, the city of Round Rock closed off this low water crossing just this afternoon, and take a look at it right now. The water is still raging over that street. You can hardly even make out where the road is, and the water, as you said, has made its way into the park. We'll show you that in just a sec. But most of these low water crossings, while some of them have barricades, not all of them do. So if you do come across a street with water on it when you're on the road, you are urged to turn around, don't drown.
Thunderstorms blew through central Texas Wednesday.
It was almost like driving in the dark.
The amount of rain was enough to spark road closures across Williamson County. Here you can see a low water crossing off Brushy Bend Road near Cedar Park completely engulfed in water.
Just like the skies opened up and you knew it was going to be some flooding somewhere.
Round Rock also spent the day closing low water crossings, especially ones along Brushy Creek. Water rose and rushed over roadways.
We knew to expect a little bit of high water, but definitely not like this.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
I know, just wondering how much more is it gonna flood.
Those at Memorial Park, which is along the creek, were taken back by the amount of water in the area.
The water from Brushy Creek was high enough to even make its way into the park. In fact, around 3 p.m., the water was only a few feet from benches.
This is just crazy how much the water is just overflowing into the park.
People watched, worried the flood may damage the park.
I would not want to see the flooding get up into the playing area or the picnic benches.
Well, this is one of our favorite places to be. We come down here 2 or 3 times a week just to get the fresh air.
With more rain on the way for central Texas, if you see water on the road, turn around, don't drown.
We reached out to cities across Williamson County. So far, we have not heard of any water rescues needing to be made. Live in Round Rock, Steven Sarabia, Fox 7 Austin News.
And right now, there is a flood warning for the Pedernales River in Blanco County.
Let's get right to Fox 7 Austin's Destiny Chance for a live look at the situation there. Destiny.
Well, Mike and Rebecca, that flood warning is actually scheduled until later on tomorrow evening. We're right in front of a low water crossing that has been completely blocked off. It's actually a bridge. We're going to show you some video in a second of that, but this is one of the roads that we're talking about that people are not allowed to pass through. Johnson City in Blanco County is a tight-knit community, and so are the employees of Fat Boy Burgers. The restaurant is situated right near the Pedernales River.
Whenever the weather is bad, then, it's very slow, and so scheduling gets based off of that.
So when the pouring rain rolled in on Thursday, so did some warnings with the Blanco County Emergency Management's Facebook page. They made a post saying they've experienced heavy rain earlier Thursday and are expecting flooding on low water crossings.
I worked the morning shift, so I was in here when it was raining, and it was just a lot of wind, but that kind of started like last night. And then this morning it was just rain, thunder, lightning, and a lot of water flowing.
Around 1 p.m., Blanco County Emergency Management listed 9 closures. A few hours later, that number went up to 11 closures. Many roads were blocked off, like this one on Trainer West Road.
So like my boss, the owner of Fat Boys, she has quite a few low water crossings to get into. So when it floods really, really bad, or even causing a safety hazard, they close them down, so it's hard for her to get to work. So we have had to shut down Fat Boys because she can't make it.
There's a flood warning issued at the Pedernales River until Thursday evening. The river is expected to crest at 17.3 feet. Blanco County Emergency Management released a statement to Fox 7 Austin saying, the Pedernales River crests occasionally and all depends on the year. We strongly depend on the LCRA gauges to give us the information that we need in these events, as we can watch the status from Gillespie County to ours. Although the rise in this river does create inconveniences for some of our residents, most are aware of the situation and understand what takes place during the events. I spoke to another woman earlier today who says that she's been stuck in Johnson City twice because of those low water crossings, making it very difficult to make her way back home. Back to you guys in studio.
Coming up next, a suspect in custody. San Marcos police believe they have finally found the man responsible for a string of sexual assaults over the past couple weeks.
And later, a constitutional crisis. That is how some in Washington are characterizing the showdown between President Trump and Democrats in Congress. How both sides are taking aggressive steps in that fight when Fox 7 Austin News at 9 continues.